Brother Time, do you hear that sound? It's Eric Stein about to break things down. Watching the show for us 3 times a week. Instilling truth on knowledge and beat. Your house guests better watch your mouths. Cause Stein knows when your game settings out. He's got the gift of gab and knows what to say. When you are ready, Rob, yeah, take it away.
Eric, my man, what is good?
You never flip-flop on me, Rob. That was just an example of the last 3 weeks I set the bar too high for the intros. I had absolutely nothing this week. I considered Criscoing my floors and running back and forth, but I heard that was an insurance liability. And this is why in my life I normally like to set the bar low and barely eclipse it, because obviously that was deflating after the last 3 weeks.
Is that an Angela pole vaulting reference?
Yeah, exactly. The great Angela, or a Tyler Bowling reference even.
Yeah. All right. Well, my kids really appreciated you eating all that ketchup on last week's show. They were really...
I don't think they're going to like the instant replay of Baby Dino the dog dancing this week. The ketchup guy's not so funny anymore.
They said, Dad, can you show us the ketchup guy again tonight if we're good? Like, yes. Yes, children. You can see ketchup guy.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
All right. So a lot to get to here on another jam-packed week. 8 weeks in, Eric. We're closer to the finish line of Big Brother 20 than we are to the starting line.
I have a couple of news reports to follow up on some previous topics that I think you're going to be excited about.
Is this breaking news or these are just follow-ups?
I think it's breaking
news. All right. Eric has some breaking news.
Breaking news are happening now.
All right, Eric Stein, take it away.
Get the soundboard ready, because I'm about to meet up with a special someone this Thursday for the live eviction show, and I'll give you one guess who it may be.
I was here.
I wish. He has a beautiful view from his apartment and a full bar that he always let us.
Yes. Who will you be watching this Thursday's eviction show with?
Summer of Stein. Oh, wait, that's
Summer
me.
of Steve 2018.
There it is. There it is. And it doesn't end there.
Yes. Who else?
Glenn will be providing the salads.
Yes.
Crazy James will be there with his exploding package.
Yes.
He will bust out of it. All of the greats of Summer of Stein. Adam Puck will be there. But here's where I'm really going to blow your mind, my man. Guess who else was on the email?
Could it be possibly
Bred for this.
Paulie Calafiore?
Right. He is bred to watch the show with me this Thursday. It's only a matter of which will happen first. Will Steve or will Paulie knock me unconscious?
Wait, so what is this crew that's gotten together?
Oh, it's all the great New Yorkers. We have Book Cameo's own Natalie Negrati.
Mm-hmm.
We have Racism's own Gina Marie Zimmerman. we've got them all.
Real scrub.
We've got a Nick City dancer, Carol Journey, in the house. And possible performances by the great Jen City.
Wow.
All the greats. I mean, if I'm lucky, JoJo will be there also. I mean, everyone who's anybody. Enzo's out at the shore, so he's the only credible New York house guest. He will not be there.
Is this a event that fans can attend, or this is just like at somebody's house?
No, this is inside shop. Jose is on the maybe list.
Wow. Just Paulie Calafiore? No Cody Calafiore?
I think probably Cody has outpriced himself for this event.
My brother Cody.
Yeah.
I also did not see Mommy and Frankie on the guest list, unfortunately. Although, admittedly, there were a few emails I did not recognize on the list.
All right. Well, this is quite the festivities. Can't wait to hear about it next week on the Summer of Stein. But, Eric...
You're assuming I live through it.
Yes, assuming you don't get like a swirly. Swirly to hell.
Courtesy of Winston Hines, who swings by.
All right, Eric. So a lot to talk about here as Angie Rockstar became the latest player to walk out that door. As we like to do here in the summer of Stein, we'll take a look back at Angie Rockstar and her run here on Big Brother. What are your final thoughts on Angie Rockstar?
Well, I did a tweet storm, as we discussed on the last Summer of Stein. My goal was to reach the heights of your brother Cody and get in the 2,000 likes, right? And I live tweeted the entire Thursday live eviction episode. And you want to know the one that brought home the bounty for me was the one in which I quite literally just transcribed what was actually said in the episode.
Which tweet was that?
Original thoughts. The only one that gained any traction whatsoever was Rockstar's remarks to Julie. And I say, yes, queen. She was only screwed and betrayed by the hacker twist and by production. Otherwise, she was marching her way straight into the final three. And for that, I feel you, sister. I am ready to drop LSD with Rockstar at a moment's notice and welcome her to the family because, you know what? I think she was a really underrated house guest. I thought she was a lot of fun. World's best player? Probably not, but she was surprisingly entertaining. And I like that she put Julie on blast during the live show. And apparently a fair amount of other people liked it as well. You see, here's what we've been doing wrong. We've been trying to create original content when all we do is literally recite what actually already transpired on the show.
Yeah, you tweeted, Julie says, who do you feel most betrayed by? Rockstar says, probably whoever came up with that hacker twist. Yes, queen.
Yes.
And over 2,400 people or bots liked this tweet, Eric.
This is true,
so
but
20, they round up, 2,357.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get a big head over this.
Yes.
And although I will say, I also saw one that said, I'm over Faute. That came from Janelle. That had about 20,000 likes.
Yes.
So, I still have some work to do. Like, I need to go even more generic than just accounting the events of the actual show.
Okay. All right. So Angie Rockstar is gone, and it was not without blunder, though, Eric, because this week's OTEV competition proved quite costly for Rockstar, as there were a couple of errors, including giving Tyler the right answer, and then also coming back up to the top of the OTEV skunk ledge with the wrong answer in the final round against Tyler.
These last few episodes have been physically painful to watch. I know that you're probably aware with this, but my people, the Jewish people,
yes,
they have some stomach agita.
Yes.
A lot of Tums, a lot of ulcers. And this is really been activating. Yeah, this has been activating my indigestion, Rob. This has been hard to watch. You're not expecting Rockstar to be competitive in this competition. And here she finds herself with 2 chances to win and pull herself off the block and probably yields what would be at least a decent sized move at this point. But no. And I was legitimately sad, not even funny sad. This is actually the theme of the last probably 3 episodes. It was actually sad watching her tell Julie that she just did not trust in herself and her own answer enough to not double check with the enemy. And she didn't even need to check her answer. If she was wrong, then Haley would have just slid in and Haley could have had a shot at the final round. It was painful to watch. And let me tell you something. Any reality, I by the way, loved seeing our boy JP on last night. He's one of the truly good seeds of this world, and he handles his own follies extremely well. But anyone but JP will tell you that these type of things, they keep you up for years. Rockstar will be seeing that skunk in her nightmares into her 40s. This is not good. It's $500,000. And when you do not trust in yourself enough to trust your own answer and lead to your own untimely demise on your dear friend's HOH, it's painful, Rob.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, Eric, I'm glad you brought up some of your medical issues because this is an email that we got this week from one of our listeners named Stein, who says, "Hey, Rob and Eric, Big Brother broke new ground last week when they revealed during OTEB that they have an entire pharmaceutical company with medications made from each house guest. I guess they are in the pocket of Big Broma. Can you please tell us about some of the medications Big Brother has developed over the years, such as the medication's name, the house guest it's based on, its intended uses, and maybe some side effects? Perhaps you could each join the Big Broma R&D team and create some intended use and side effects of the medications. Keep up the good work on the show." Eric, did you happen to see all of the medicine that was administered to the sixth skunk this week?
I did. It was a very impressive array, almost as much as the Ritalin that was dished out on BB20 before all the HOHs.
We don't. Did that have some unintended side effects as well?
I think it always does. It always does. Let me tell you something. If I had to invest in a specific doctor, it would be the great Dr. Zachary of Big Brother Psych fame, because she must have a really thriving business for the past house guests that once they get out of the house.
Well, Eric, let me give you some of the medications that were the house guests were hunting for during that competition, and then let's see if we can talk about what each pill bottle might actually be intended for.
I'm concerned, but I'm happy.
Okay. All right. I guess let's start with Vitamin Steve. Vitamin Steve was one of the many medications administered in the Big Brother house this week.
Summer Steve 2018.
That I would use. That sounds like probably a bath ointment, perhaps, right?
Yeah,
Like a
bath
bath
bomb?
A skin treatment. And I'd be honest, if he went on Etsy or possibly a book cameo and offered a $10 Summer of Steve bath bomb, I would be the first person online for that. That sounds like something that would be soothing, quite relaxing. If I was forced to ingest one of these medicines, that's probably the one I'd roll
Okay,
with.
so this is some sort of a skincare supplement, Vitamin Steve.
Yeah, or his jizz, but I've gone too far. I've gone too far.
Thank you, everybody.
early.
Get
We're
some
too early.
week
Too early in
8.
the podcast for this.
We'll be back next week. Find out about Eric's party and much more.
Sorry, I'm going to try and rein it in.
Okay. I mean, we might have to stop this game after this one.
Nope.
No.
I think you
Keep
see where all
going?
these medicines are going, but all right.
Okay. All right. How about Winston PM? Winston PM was another medication for the skunk.
Yeah, I think that was just watching him on the feed, right?
No, he was crazy on the feeds.
It kind of he could put me out with his gameplay. Also, as previously documented, although purporting to be the ripe age of 28, due to his pop culture reference, this man is not a day under 45. So he's probably just headed towards an early bedtime these days. So I think that this is probably a pretty good medicine for him to be sponsoring.
Yes, Winston PM. I believe that's what Brett had all of level 6 take the night before they went to the HOH competition to get a good rest.
For the rave juice.
No, so you think that Winston PM is something, it's like some sort of anti-aging supplement, sleep 16 hours a night, and that way you will actually be 45 but look like you're 28.
I think it's actually the reverse of that. It's something you actually take at 7 p.m. and go to bed along with Winston after a few Saved by the Bell reruns.
Okay. All right. Rachel Tussin. Rachel Tussin was another medication administered.
Well, that's what you take when you have sort of an unknown ailment like Angela had the week that Rachel went home.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
It's what you take when you're not quite sure what's wrong with Angela.
Give her some
and you
Rachel
need to figure
Tussin.
it out. So you just kind of, like throw the antibiotics at her and hope something sticks, right? You just take a nice heaping of Rachel Tussin and hope for the best. I heard some late breaking news just 15 minutes prior.
Whoa.
with this recording that Rachel is now on Book Cameo and she's willing to sing.
Yes. Okay. How much? Have you already looked this up?
I have not seen the price.
All right. How much?
This came into our Twitter mentions right before we hit record.
Okay, so I will bring it up, and you tell me how much do you suspect a book?
Well, she is a legitimate performer, and if she's offering a song in this, I would say this should be the full price of any Vegas show. So I'm gonna go with a full $55.
$55. I'll take the under on that.
Yeah, you're gonna win that one.
Let's see. What is Rachel Swindler? She's listed as an entertainer, and Rachel Swindler. Book her now for $30, less than the cost of 3 bottles of Rachel Tussin.
Exactly. If she throws in the Rachel Tussin, count us in.
Yes. Okay. Entertainer and a Big Brother 20 house guest. Typically responds within 5 hours, Eric. That'll be before this podcast even goes up.
Yeah, it's time. We could put in our application. I don't have $30, but if I did, you could imagine what it would be like.
Yeah. All right. Eric, Caitlin Oil was another medicine that was administered.
That feels pretty on the nose. One of the essential oils.
Yeah.
I've noticed, passing through my now ever-growing Twitter feed, the one that is holding off Steve's Twitter feed, I've noticed that you've had some interactions with the great Caitlin. It seems like you have a fan.
Yeah. We have a mutual admiration.
Is this to say that she is not going to life coach me after all? Is she jumped ship and going
and is going to life coach me?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
I'm a little bit jealous.
I could use some guidance.
I know you're a fairly philosophical man. I know that you like your self-help audio books and so forth. So is it possible that you could get a batch of Caitlin oil to massage on your temples?
Is that what it does?
Really crystal day.
Yes. I would embrace it.
Yeah, I think it would help your zen, honestly.
Could not hurt. Nothing could hurt, Eric.
I know this is they're not paying for this advertisement, but it's something you could also lube up with prior to Beachbody on Demand. Get some Caitlin oil on and get ready. Get your muscles ready, nice and loose.
For my bodybuilding competitions, yes.
Exactly.
Lather up. I have to ask Beast Mode Cowboy how it's done. Okay. And then finally,
or
Eric.
his brother.
Yeah. Blake. And then finally,
I know you're Survivors.
Bailey gels with extra swaggy, Eric. What is that recommended for?
Well, I would have thought that it was a contraceptive, but evidence is pointing otherwise.
No. Yeah.
Possibly just a nice lubricant for his and her pleasure.
All right.
Yeah, you were asking for it with this game. Let's be real.
We walked into that one. Okay, let's go back to Rockstar. We got a really interesting voicemail this week from one of our longtime listeners, Nwando. She has a question about the relationship between not people and mosquitoes, but between Rockstar and Brett. And she wonders if maybe Mr. and Mrs. Smith was not the right analogy for these two.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Eric. This is Wando. Got a question about Rockstar. So Rockstar named her alliance with Brett, Mr. and Miss Smith. And as Brett pointed out, she clearly doesn't remember exactly how that movie goes. Actually, Rockstar's relationship with Brett was more like a 90s high school movie, like She's All That or Never Been Kissed, where the most unpopular girl in school suddenly gets asked to prom by the most popular guy in school, only to find out that he asked her on a bet he made with his friends. And as life often imitates art, or is it art imitates life? Anyway, that's what Rockstar ended up finding out during the goodbye messages. So my question to you guys is, do you think Rockstar would have done better in the game if she simply had a better knowledge of movies?
Okay, Eric, do you think that that is the better comparison, that the Rockstar and Brett relationship was more like the film She's All That?
The great Rachel Lee Cook.
Yes.
This is one of the studs of my generation. I wonder what her book cameo is going for these days.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice. I do think Rockstar was a little off on her movie plots. I think there's actually a fair amount of movies filming right around her, like Shrek, for example, with Bessie and Haley. Going on right next to her. And I do think, she should have known if she had watched any Julia Stiles film, perhaps. Anything around this time frame, Can't Hardly Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Any, I've had a few American Pie moments in the house myself.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying, I do believe that the great Wando is on to something here. And, I also think that if she had just simply watched more episodes of Big Brother, she would have seen Jason Diane, and that didn't really work out all that well for either of them. So
no, not really. Now, Eric, going back to She's All That, Brett leaves the mean goodbye message at the end of the episode, and we see Rockstar break down and cry. But spoiler alert for She's All That. Just to set up the plot of She's All That, there's a girl. She's a nerd in high school. She wears glasses. The bunch of jocks make a bet that they could turn her into the homecoming queen, I believe, or prom queen. I'm not sure which one. And then the one guy ends up dating her and then gets her to take off her glasses. And then she ends up being, then that changes everything. And so that Freddie Prinze Jr., he ends up being he loses the bet, but ends up being the winner at love, where he is able to reconcile with Rachel Lee Cook at the end of the movie. Could you see a scenario where Brett is able to win back the heart of Rockstar?
If the Big Brother fans saw the diagram, the connecting dots of strings that attach surprising house guests to one another in post-show shenanigans, it would blow their brains. So I will tell you, living proof of 11 years removed from my season, there is no such thing as a pairing that might not happen after the show. And I am going to say I have hope for these crazy kids.
Okay.
If she just removes the wacky glasses, you never know what could happen.
Okay, there you go. All right. So, if Angie Rockstar just takes off those weirdo crazy glasses, there's hope.
Yeah, it's more likely he'll hook up with Raven, but you never know.
Oh, no. All right. Let's change direction and let's talk a little bit about Fessel, Eric.
I'm beside myself.
Yes. We need to talk about our new HOH and what's going on here in the Fessel administration. Yes. And let's bring in our first tweet of the week. And this is from Reality Guru, who wants to know, has Fessy solidified his standing as this season's OOF Award winner?
This episode yesterday has sent me straight over the moon, Rob. I cannot. I was beside myself, so disturbed watching this whole thing on so many levels. Every last wrinkle of how this unfolded was pure torture to me as someone who loves this game and feels sympathy for the people who play it. And I have prepared for you the 5 candidates for the Oof of the Season award thus far.
Yes.
And the thing is, if you looked at each one in and of themselves, there's a good chance that any one of them is a winner, but it just keeps getting worse. So I present to you, and you will be the deciding vote here, who has yielded the Oof Award winner thus far this season.
Okay.
We have.
The nominees are
Caitlin.
Yes.
Caitlin, in particular, failing to solve a puzzle that was designed specifically for her to solve.
Yes.
She is candidate number 1. Number 2, I present to you Bailey, who used her HOH to make people swear on the things most holy to them, revealed her own secrets to the person that she then sent home and acquired no secrets during that time. Not the most, not the best application of one's HOH. We move on to our dear friend, the stunning, now glassesless rock star who went home on her best friend's HOH after eliminating herself from the veto by telling her arch nemesis the correct answer and presenting the wrong answer herself.
Oof.
That's an oof. Yeah. Then we have Sam. This is moving ever so slightly into the future, but spoiling nothing. We have Sam, who has concocted a cockamamie made-up love story with Brett. She has tried to get Fessy
To be fair, there's a
nominate
lot of that going around.
his own showmance, and she stared blankly, nearly in tears, when her own crafts were demolished during which we will see probably on Wednesday.
Oof.
Has Sam potentially oofed herself by trying to get people to nominate their own loved ones while fabricating her own personal relationships? We haven't even hit Scotty, who we will hit soon. But he does not even qualify for the top 5, believe it or not, as Fessy is our 5th candidate for Oof of the Week, going throwback style to BB6 and pulling a Howie here of nominating and evicting his own allies.
Yes.
So you tell me, who is the oofiest of the oofs so far this season? And I will not anoint this as the oof of the season yet. It's only the oof of the season to this point. Because if this season has taught us anything, it's that every week can bring you a new, even greater oof.
I think I would give it to Fessy. I think I would, because I think that this is probably going to be the, I guess Bailey telling about her power app was bad, but I'm being a little results oriented because that week that she needed to use the power app, that ultimately Angela ended up with the veto anyway. She probably would have ended up on the block and gone home. No matter.
Caitlyn and Rockstar did quite literally eliminate themselves.
Yeah. So I'll say it was Fessy because to me, I think it's more of a lifetime achievement award than just only this.
This was one of the most mind-numbingly idiotic things I've ever witnessed in my life, let alone on reality television. And what I realized is Big Brother boils down to a very simple equation. It's a game of smart versus stupid, right? Smart wins out 95% of the time on Big Brother. Occasionally, you will have an a-hole who's a little bit smug about their smarts, a Nick Uhas, if you will, who will send himself home even though he is truly smarter than some of the other players. Occasionally, you will have a stupid who is overlooked and circumstantially can slide through by being nice. That would be your Jordan on Big Brother 11.
Who is lovely.
Yes, she is lovely. She's not the brightest, though. And 95 times out of 100 on Big Brother, it boils down to the smart versus the stupid. And Fessy is the stupidest of the stupid. I do not want to be friends with this man after this show. The likelihood of him listening to this podcast is the likelihood of him winning this game afterwards. So I'm going to just speak my truth right now.
Speak it.
I feel disgusted by what this man has done from a game standpoint, from a personal standpoint, from a machismo standpoint. There is nothing stupider he could have done this week. It was mortifying on every level. And the best part of all is that when the two of them are on the block next week, he's not going to go home because everybody else knows what a dumbass he is. So he's going to send home Scotty and Haley in back-to-back weeks. And I'm sure he'll be real proud of himself afterwards. Real cute, Fessy. Real cute.
Real cute.
Oh, boy.
This is, I've reached a whole new level of idiocy. And I want to, I know that you guys have picked this apart the last couple of nights in your updates and other podcasts. But there's something that nobody else pointed out that made quite literally no sense. And that was Casey's reaction. It's been well established that Casey only gets hyped up and defensive when she's lying. Otherwise, she's totally chill all the time. That's the first tell. But what nobody has pointed out is, why would she be angry at Scotty for voting to keep her? That's the part of this whole narrative that made no sense. She's fighting with someone over the fact that he allegedly, according to him, by telling this story, did something, in Casey's version of the story, nice by her. If Brett was the one who voted her out, that means that Scotty saved her. So why is Casey so upset that Scotty, who she talks to more than Brett, delivered on that personal relationship and saved her? So why would she, in that scenario, if this really happened, be trying to discredit Scotty and support what Brett was saying? Obviously, you would only do that if Brett was your true ally, not Scotty. You would not try and dissect what Scotty was doing in that situation and disprove it if he was your actual ally.
But Scotty was alleging that Casey had a bad read on the house of who she was vibing with. Of course, Casey knows she hasn't even been vibing that well with Brett the whole season. So Scotty shouldn't say that they're vibing well. She would know if they were vibing, right?
Yeah. Well, Scotty doesn't know what's going on in this situation.
Here, I got something for you this week. Let's see. Here you go.
Yes, the gif that's been floating around of Scotty the character's facial expression pretty much has been Scotty's facial expression all week in the house. And who knew, as we've been joking about this all season long, that Scotty doesn't know would be such a prolific prediction of what could possibly go down? Because if he did know what danger he was really in, you would think he might actually do something about it. And how hard would this be to disprove?
I think he might have stayed home if he would have known.
Yes. Seriously, that's where he went wrong. That's where he went wrong. You see, I'm starting to think during this episode that maybe, just maybe, the fans overreacted to what happened to Cameron, and it was actually for the best for him.
Yeah.
This is what
Dodge the
happens
bullet.
otherwise to this archetype now.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, thanks so much, Steve Moses.
Summer of Steve, 2015. Okay, let's go to some more questions. This is another one about Fessel, and this was sent to us by Big Brother LF. Fessel wagered his left nut twice this week. Both were on losing bets. Does this make him at -1 left nuts, or does he have to surrender both nuts? Eric, do you have any insight into body part bets?
Yeah, I think that they need to be quite literal here. So I think he needs to both offer up his own left nut as well as secure a left nut from somebody else and provide that as collateral damage here. This man is such a buffoon. The whole narrative of he has so much testosterone. Yes, people with a lot of testosterone often try and pick on the weakest target, lowest hanging fruit adversary that they possibly can. If this man's manhood is threatened by Kermit the Frog inside of the house, he's got a whole other thing coming. I cannot even begin. It's not even funny to me what he has done. Mm-hmm. It's so seriously disturbing how moronic this could be. And this is a really great point in both Survivor and Big Brother. This is why you can't discount anyone in the house. Because, of course, if you're playing against Fessy, you're thinking to yourself, I could outsmart this guy anytime. But you can't really outsmart stupid, because you don't know what a stupid, illogical, crazy, jealous, possessive person is actually capable of. So if you're Scotty, you'd have no conceivable reason to be concerned about Fessy going into this week. Mm-hmm. And here you are paying both of your left nuts in exchange for this.
Eric, this is an email from one of our listeners, Nicole. If production showed Fessy the video of Scotty voting Casey to be evicted, how likely is it that JC could still convince Fessy the video was fake?
100%. 100%. I mean, did facts matter in this case? As you guys have covered, he still chose to put up one of the people he knew and believed to factually be his ally. What about the other 5 people who he knew to factually be against him? It really, and of course, yeah, I'll just let my enemy decide which one of my possible allies they should send home. I'm sure they will keep the guy who's loyal to me in the house and not the person who helped them out. It's just mind-numbingly stupid. It's very, very, very disturbing. I heard you guys discussing last night, when the last time someone was framed like this inside of the Big Brother house as Scotty was. And I do not, this is not to be like self-referential, but it reminded me a lot of when Nick went home on Big Brother 8 because of the hinky votes as cast by the America's Player vote. And the guy was in great standing. And by the end of the week, you had his own showmance, his father, his 2 or 3 best friends and allies all voting him out under similar circumstances. It's great gameplay. It is painful to watch from home. It's rough. These people, they deserve a better fate, but the game is unforgiving.
Eric, for Fessy, the warning signs were all there. It looks to me that I think Fessel even had in his letter from home even more reason to suspect that things may not be going his way in the Big Brother house. I pulled a clip from, this is Fessy reading the letter he got from his mom.
As a mom, I really couldn't be more proud of you. I love that you're able to enjoy the experience. I'm sure you'll come away with some great life lessons.
Fessy's mom does not seem to have much confidence that Fessy will be coming home from Big Brother with the win. Instead,
not the 500,000. Yeah, not a romance.
I'm sure you'll come home with some real life lessons.
Will he, though? Will he? That probably requires a higher level of thinking to come away with those life lessons. That's something that only someone who is a bowler would be able to do.
Yes. I don't know how many life lessons Tyler is coming away from the game with.
I took a little heat last week for my comments regarding how whether or not lifeguards are bred for this, like Paulie C is, right? But I'm willing to put my tail between my legs and say I do know factually that bowlers are in fact bred for the game of Big Brother.
Okay.
You will face turkeys. You will face 4-baggers, 7-10 splits, your own ball, your own shoes. I mean, if there was something that I would hide going to the house, forget being a cop. We don't need to worry about Derek and Tony anymore. We don't need to worry about lifeguards anymore. We definitely need to learn and worry and be aware of who might be a semi-pro retired teenage bowler in the house next summer. And I promise you there will be one.
Okay. Eric, then, since you're already talking about bowling, let me give you this voicemail question.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Eric. This is Adam from Chicago. Big fan of the Summer of Stein podcast. It's been a lot of fun this summer. I had a question for Eric. This past week, we learned that Tyler has some bowling skills. And word has it, your boy could have gone pro. So my question is, do you think this could potentially affect a future bowl arena comp? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks, guys.
Will Tyler have a bowl arena comp thrown his way, Eric?
Yeah, he'll have it the week that he's in danger of going home, for sure.
Save that one, yeah.
Yeah, other than Crispin family trivia, that's the backup plan. Let me tell you something. Going back to the days of Dr. Carl on Survivor, you got to hide your wealth and your skills from your fellow players because they could use anything against you. If I'm Tyler, I am taking this secret out of the house with me. Once people hear that at the age of 17, he was a decent bowler, I don't know what they're going to do. This could do to his game. I heard you guys talking about the effect that his new showmance might have on his game. But what about this revelation that he's a pretty good bowler? And not for nothing, I will tell you something. I have bowled 200 or above 3 times in my life. And I actually had a bowling ball gifted to me right around the same time as Tyler. because there was nothing to do in my hometown. So one summer I just really went bowling a lot. And I am living proof. Bowling skills translate directly to the Big Brother house.
Yes. So who knows? Be better keep the cat in the bag.
That's right. They might put up the bumpers for him on his turn.
All right. Eric, let me give you another question about Fessel before we move on. This is one from Claire.
Hi, Rob and Eric. This is Claire. In light of Fessy's apparent anti-bird prejudice, who do you think he'll target if Scotty, who both walks like a duck and talks like a duck, is sent home? Could we see him go after Tyler? Multiple people have described him as being just like a wounded, innocent baby bird. Or maybe Orwell the owl. Or Grandpa Lou. What do you think?
Okay. Is Fessy anti-bird in your mind, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say so. I would say that his HOH would have been more effective if he got out Orwell the owl or Grandpa Lou.
If you put Orwell and Grandpa Lou on the block, that would have been a better week.
Yeah, just like he seems so anti-duck, which did actually harken back to the great Becky the Duck of Saved by the Bell.
Yes, who did walk like a duck and quack like a duck.
Yes, and greed kills ducks. We have learned that, as we have covered extensively in the past. But I have a feeling that the next HOH will be saying, if it walks like a freaking moron and talks like a freaking moron, it probably is a freaking moron. And I think the next HOH will probably be very biased against freaking morons. I should have workshopped this before mentioning this, right? But I did just come up with something that could be a new future bit for us. And that is there some potential for Fessy as Uncle Jesse and or Uncle Fessy Fuller House?
Yes.
Reboot, possibly. He's got the hair. He's got the bad boy streak. Is it possible that he has some potential in the Full House world?
Okay.
And I will admit, I've given quite literally not even 1 second of thought.
Let's workshop this. Now, are we bringing the other Big Brother 20 characters in as well, or are we just adding Fessy to the cast of Fuller House?
No, I think we need to bring them in. And the first cast addition I'd like to make are Liz and Julia Nolan as none other than Michelle.
You got
it's tough.
dude.
It's tough on set. Yeah, it's tough on set to be a baby, and you got to swap out the twins. It's very important stuff right there.
So I do like that very much. So good job with that.
We could have as Becky or Rebecca, Uncle Fessy's love interest could be Becky the Duck, which could cause some conflict because he's very anti-duck.
Yes, not Becky.
So this squirrel girl doesn't get on her game face? I could be roadkill.
No, that's probably better. Yeah. Probably better. I told you about those after show connections.
Yes.
So
Haley won't play the part of Becky.
I think we probably need a recasting there. How about Rockstar as the great Stephanie Tanner? How rude is kind of similar to
real cute.
Exactly. It could be a new catchphrase.
Yeah. I think I would like to cast Caitlin. I think she would be a great modern day Kimmy Gibbler also, coming in from next door. Hey, Tannerinos.
Yes. Now, who is our Danny Tanner? Who is our most straight-laced, clean freak, possible, he's a reporter, right? This actually could be our dear friend Jordan Parhar, possibly.
I was gonna see it's Captain Kosher available.
Oh, that's a nice grab as well, and a real deep cut there. Nicely done.
Now we need our Joey, not Uncle Joey. Who is going to be our Dave Coulier here?
Well, I was trying to think of if there's been any stand-up comedians on Big Brother,
No.
and the answer is no. But Survivor did have the great Bill Polian.
No, I think I want JC to be our Joey. I think that he has the great bond already with Uncle Fessy. I think that that he could do all sorts of wacky characters. Say
he could though be Joey's woodchuck though, possibly.
He's got catchphrases.
I reckon over yonder. Guys like that.
Got it out. That was some sort of a morphed accent. It may have been hearkening your recent Perfect Strangers podcast, possibly. It was right. The great JC as Bronson Pinchot as Uncle Joey.
Okay. All right. So Fuller Big Brother house. Be on the lookout for it. Okay. Let's get back to where did we leave off? Let's get back to Scotty. Let's get back to Scotty, Eric, because I got some Scotty stuff to talk about with you. Klein on Twitter wants to know, will Scotty ever know?
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Don't tell Scotty. Scotty's got to go. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty's got to go. Don't tell Scotty. I've never in my life had something. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. This actually hurts me. It really does. It really does. I mean, if I didn't already have an armband-wearing game of racquetball lined up with Scotty after this, I do now. I feel so saddened for these events. If the man had simply sat in the room and said, you want to know what, guys? I factually know this is a lie because I cast the vote. There's only one vote this week. I don't need to sift through it and figure it out. I know who cast the vote. I am factually telling you. I sat there and cast the vote. That level of indignancy should have been enough.
It should have been enough.
Right, should have been enough. If he had pointed out my earlier point about Casey, why would you be upset that I cast the vote to save you? If he simply had the conversation he had 2 days after nominations, prior to nominations, he would have stayed in the house. It reminds me of the Kermit the Frog gif where he's flailing around like this. It's so maddening. And the worst
you seem
part
like
is,
you're physically pained this week.
I am, because us super fan types, we stick together here.
Flames on the side of your face this week.
Heaving, breathless, heaving breath. Man, without their consent, I will be giving Scotty, JP, and Cameron, and everyone else's, I can't, their phone numbers without asking them if it's okay.
Okay, well, you are a true bro.
It really is. It's just so saddening to me. It really is. And his unrequited love, which has sent him spiraling, and it's almost like the great Austin of Big Brother 17. His lover's heart has sent him astray here. It's painful. It really is. I don't know what thought process this man must be having now, but I feel just gobsmacked for him.
It's tough stuff. Let's go to another clip from last night's episode. We talk about Scotty doesn't know. Scotty does seem very confused. Here is Scotty talking about that he's not buying the what Brett and Casey are trying to sell.
So obviously what I think is happening is they're obviously working together.
Okay.
And they're trying to make it seem like he's this lone shark character and that he's that one vote.
He's this loan shark character?
Yes, like a bookie.
What is Scotty talking about here? Is Brett going around the house like, hey, Scotty, where's that money you owe me?
Yeah, Scotty, you owe me something from 2 weeks ago's Vita. You got 48 hours.
He's become a real lone shark in the house.
He's gonna come break your kneecaps.
Okay. This is also something that I saw this and I couldn't wait to for Monday to come so we could talk about this, Eric. So, of course, people go on these shows, and not that you and I would know, but the family gets tasked with running the social media for the different contestants. And sometimes, that they're not really publicists or, PR specialists or anything like that. So...
Did your family run your MySpace back in the day?
No, they did not. It was not invented yet, Eric. Okay, so this was a post that was grabbed from Scotty's Instagram this week. And I pulled it. Let me read to you what it says. There's a post that says, "I have no words. ... Actually, that's a lie. I have a lot of choice words for everyone in that's house. If I could go into that house now and verbally ripe them to shreds, I would. But that's illegal. And I don't want to get arrested today.
Yeah, you can't be riping anyone.
Once Scotty comes home, I forbid him from hanging out with any of these people. If he tries, I will shut it down. The end. Hashtag BB20. Hashtag BB Scotty. Hashtag Team Scotty. P.S. He can always hang out with Steve.
Summer of Steve 2018.
And Rockstar.
Just like me.
So, Eric, which would be more humiliating for a Big Brother contestant? One, to be blindsided and taken out of the game by your own allies, or two, to come home and find out you're grounded.
Hi, Mommy.
Hey.
I wonder, first I need a clarification. Do you believe that, what was that, riping them?
Yes, yes.
Do you believe that that was intended to be ripping them or raping them? Because I just need to be sure.
I believe it would be rip.
Okay.
Again, according to Reddit, this was posted by Scotty's dad on Instagram.
So it's more of a who's your daddy situation. This is not great. It's not great. I feel like I don't know if Book Cameo offers prostitution.
I do. Law, the Robinson Podcast legal team informs us that Book Cameo does definitely not have anything resembling illicit activity.
I'm just gonna say, if this needs to be an offline situation, I am willing to crowdfund Scotty a couple of weeks vacation with some lovely ladies after this, because the man is going to need it. This is not good. I'm really genuinely concerned for this man. This is not going to help. This is not going to help.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it comes with the best of intention. And let me tell you honestly, Big Brother is rough for the family and friends of the house guests. Survivor, you've had kind of time to prep them. It's edited, but the family and friends of Big Brother people, not only do they not have the opportunity to speak to their loved one themselves, but they're watching things that the person never sees. They're watching people mock them and ridicule them and scheme about them behind their back. It is hard. And the only thing that you could possibly do is back away from the computer. But when you're this far in and you're rooting on your loved ones, I understand where this type of outburst comes from. However, I think they would have been better off implementing a count to 10 situation and then just not hitting post. You type this up, you work through all the feels on this one. This would have been left as a relaying to Scotty when you got out. I almost posted this during the week when everyone was up against you, but I refrained, Scotty. I refrained. Unfortunately, they just followed through with the send button here.
Do you see a scenario in the summer of 2019, summer of Steve 2, 2019, and Scotty has his bag packed, headed down to Hearts of Reality, and Dad comes in and says, no way over my dead body will my 27-year-old son attend a reality function with these people?
I see a more likely scenario in which a 27-year-old Scotty find someone who was about the 13th out or 13th place on something around Survivor Fiji and shares his first kiss with them at the Art of Reality next summer. I think he'll get there eventually.
Hang in there, Scotty.
Maybe. I also think there's a very realistic scenario that Summer of Steve and Summer of Scotty 2019 will replace Summer of Stein on the RHAP network.
No, well, you'll be missed.
As a buddy comedy.
You'll be missed. Let's see. We have a question about Falte being the worst alliance ever. Do you feel like that we covered that adequately?
The thing is...
Well, let me play the voice. Let me play the voicemail.
Yeah.
Let me give you the voicemail.
Right.
Okay. This is from Pizza Squirrel Rob.
Hey, Rob and Eric. Pizza Squirrel Rob here. With the hashtag Faulty Falte Alliance going after their own this week, would it be safe to say that they are the worst Big Brother alliance in the show's history? Or does that still remain with Paul's Minion Alliance last season? Thanks.
Falte, worst alliance, Eric?
It's not even close. They're not even on the top 10 worst alliances. If they were the worst alliance, wouldn't have someone who could smoke.
Right. Well, you would say the worst alliance in Big Brother history lasted an hour before it got discovered and all its members got voted out.
Right. There are endless alliances that never even, got past the naming before they turned upon each other, ate each other alive. There are plenty of alliances. I heard the moving companies' rates have gone up grossly after their season. There's a lot of bad alliances that flop hard. And even people who escape from their alliances, like the Horsemen, for example. They did get two members to the end, but the alliance as it was constituted, not a very good alliance. But the thing is, the mere fact that they sent basically all of their members other than Swaggy to the jury goes to show they're not the worst alliance. They're the most frustrating, aggravating, irritating, upsetting in their own way alliance of all time, but they're not nearly the worst alliance of all time. This is complete recency bias, and it's the fact that if Fessie's just simply put up Tyler and Brett this week, and one of Tyler, Brett, and JC went home, people would be raving about them, and we'd be talking that Haley and Scotty have legitimate shots of winning this game. So they are really stupid and really cutting off their own nose to spite their face, but they're not the worst.
Okay, well,
I mean, where do you land on that?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that just the fact that they've had 8 weeks of longevity of even still being an alliance in the house, then I think that they are spectacularly awful, but I don't think that if you were going to rate them with some sort of alliance metrics, they've won HOH, they've gotten people from level 6 out of the house. So, they still have of the original, I guess of the original Falte members, I think it was Swaggy, Rockstar, Caitlyn, Bailey, and Fessy. So of those 5, 2 of them are still there. They sort of picked up Scotty and Bailey along the way, as they weren't original members. But they've been I think that the worst alliances depends on what metrics you're using.
Right, and I would argue, and it's not likely, it's not very likely, but we could always see the one last person standing slip through the cracks because there are too many of the level 6 and the level 6 adjacent players left in the game. So we know that the focus is going to start shifting on picking each other off. If a Haley or not Fessy, but if Haley specifically can make herself useful to the remaining players, she still has a fighting chance in this game. So if you advance someone to the top 6, you're not in the worst alliance of all time.
Okay. Eric, one of the architects of the Falte Alliance was a man named Swaggy C. You've heard of him?
I am familiar with his work on the social media.
Yes. Okay. Well, one of the most prolific tweeters around, Swaggy C, he is very excited to hear from the fans, and he loves hearing from the all of the Swaggy C fans on Twitter, and will often share positive messages received. So I do have a collection of retweets from since the last time we've recorded the show. This is not a full list, but these are a number of different retweets that we've seen over the last week from Swaggy C. Let me give you some of them. This is a retweet from a Twitter user, Brandon B. B. Bostic. Swaggy was really the only one with brains in the whole damn alliance. They truly are struggling without him. Like, it's comical at this point. But the Lays will always be my girls, and I guess Fessy is cool too. He's just an idiot, and that's that. Retweeted by Swaggy C. Keegs.
Generally speaking, the person with the most brains in the alliance is the first to go home.
Yes.
So yeah, that makes sense. That lines up for me.
Keegs tweeted, Swaley is definitely my favorite showmans ever. Retweeted by Swaggy C. Shay Shay tweeted, but really though, at eNews, how can we get a hashtag Swaley TV show? I'm not sure what scoop eNews might have on this, but another retweet by Swaggy C this week. Space Hamster tweeted, I would have paid to see at Swaggy C TV stay in the house, even if it was just for one more week. Hashtag.
See if he got on Book Cameo.
BB20.
Could have been something.
Yes. Not a retweet. Dan Soff tweeted, Swaggy C won Big Brother. I don't care.
That I agree with. He came out with his reputation intact, a whole new family, his Big Brother family, so to speak. And I feel like that guy is a true winner here.
Yes.
And he's staying 4 days, 3 nights at the Schleuber household.
That's Kevin Schluber's house, yeah. And then, Schleuber. And then Alicia Lynn also tweeted, over here just loving everything at Swaggy C TV tweets, still more relevant than anyone in level 6. Hashtag BB20. And truer words were never spoken. And so, Eric, the challenge that I have for you today, can you compose a tweet with the at Eric Stein Tweets Twitter account that will be retweeted by Swaggy C before this podcast gets posted?
Oh, that's easy. That's it. That's incredibly easy.
Do we need to workshop this?
Yeah. All right. Here's the first thing that came to mind. All right.
Yes.
Be like,
you need a couple of key elements.
All right. I've acknowledged there's a new guard in town. Kevin, Swaggy, and Alex Ow. Final 3 of All Stars 2.
I think you may be losing the thread a little bit by bringing Kevin and Alex into it. I think that's good.
Okay, more Swaggy-centric.
You need to make more Swaggy-centric. I think that the keys are you want to, A, talk about how Swaggy is the best, was the best and was gone too soon. 2, how the other people that were left in the house in his alliance have really screwed up now since he's been gone. Also, if you can throw Bailey in there, that's good. That's a positive.
Okay,
also.
What about this? How about this? At CBS, is there any way we can get my man Swaggy back in there to teach them a thing or two about this game? Fessy thinks he has some swag, but I didn't have an end to that.
It's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. That'll probably get retweeted.
Okay. All right. Where do you think we should go with this?
I think if you could sort of say like,
keep in mind, I don't have that many Twitter followers.
Yeah.
So it's you have to come across his desk somehow.
Yeah. Maybe if you could get maybe
like Jessica Graff to retweet it or something like that. First.
I think you'll be okay as long as you get the name mentioned. I think you'll be good in there.
Okay.
I think it's evident that Falte is clueless. Time to bring back Swaggy C for Big Brother 21.
What about I heard that America's player Eric. I don't even know that he was that good of a player. He would have been better off with Swaggy C as the head.
You're saying that? You're saying that about yourself?
Yeah. Yes, but with the clip of him talking about me on the live feed.
I don't know. That's getting a little meta.
What about Swaggy C for The Bachelor?
No. That's anti Bailey.
How about Swaggy C and Bailey for the new Temptation Island reboot?
Yeah. What about Swaggy C TV should host the jury segment for Big Brother 20?
Oh yes, now we are talking.
That
is good.
Yeah, because this is back on TV. This is that he's the one that can talk some sense into these people.
Yes. Or what if I all this is not good. I can't.
Okay, don't.
I can't.
Don't.
Myself. I can't.
I'll stop. All right. So let me know when you have your tweet locked in.
All right, I will. I'll spam them all week.
Well, no, I
think
this is the game. Just do one. We're recording this podcast at it's 3.
Wait, hold the phone. I don't get more strikes than that. I have to it's my one and only shot.
Well, that it'll be about 5 hours between when we do this and when the podcast goes up. You got to see if you get the retweet before the jig is up.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Okay. All right. It's 3:15 p.m. Eastern time on Monday at recording time.
I got one. What is good, man? I can see.
But that's
I've seen some flip-floppers, but you, my friend, you're a ride or die, original Swaggy C.
Good. Eric, my man, what is good?
Swaggy, my man.
Okay, but look, the fans, he knows what he's doing. The fans are eating it up. He's got more action going on social media than we do.
If they dropped a live feed of the Kevin Swaggy hangout right now, it would literally be a preview of next summer's show. If Caitlin could get up there in the next few hours.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We talked about Tyler bowling. This is a question that we got right before the show came on. I got this email from a listener, and they wanted to talk about. Let me see if I have this one for you. Yes. Okay. This is one. This is from Cliff in New York.
Rob, this is Cliff from New York. In the summer of Stein, you and Eric cover the hard-hitting topics of the Big Brother season. Today, I'd like to ask you your thoughts on JC leaving the shower that was being used by Angela. They were clearly showering together. What's going on there? Is this the most underreported alliance of the season? Thanks. Bye.
Did you catch that, Eric, when JC walked out of the shower with Angela last night?
I did. I was wondering the origin of that. The showers are pretty. They have some, like, if you bend over, the part that's actually blocked off, it only goes down to a certain height.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that JC has been doing some covert shower operations.
He's going underneath the barrier, you mean?
Exactly.
That's his move?
Exactly. The showers are actually they're a place for shenanigans in the Big Brother house.
I bet.
You're normally
wear flip-flops.
Yeah, for sure. And there were some loofah wars. There's some flour and Hawaiian punch mix going over the shower doors. It's a place for some pranks and
it gets wet and wild.
Yeah, it really does. How great was JC last night?
Yes, everything about JC.
Mission completed. I am the best puppet master ever, and Peso is my big dumb puppet.
What I love about this is how he's just like unabashedly destroying his alleged friend in the diary room. It is amazing. Like normally people try and like maintain those relationships.
I don't think he really likes Fessel.
I don't either. I don't either. It's great. The show is presented.
Can you believe this guy? What a moron!
Right, this buddy duo, and he has maliciously destroyed this man time and time again. It's absolutely fantastic, and I really love him as a character. And I know Torrance has been hot on the Brett as Dr. Will train, but I'm telling you, we have a new puppet master in town, and it's JC. And the thing is, just like we have recency bias, we also have historic Hall of Fame bias as well, and we build up some of these past players in a manner that is just simply not true to what they did, even the all-time greats. And I love it. I love that we are seeing new puppet masters in town, and when you least expect it, he has been a pure delight as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think a JC win really would cement this season as an all-timer.
I agree. But he needs to viciously orchestrate, as you've said, the reshuffling of the deck, the exterminators of it all. But if he actually sends Tyler packing and then he sends Fessy packing and he's the last man standing, it would be iconic. And I really think that is the difference. A Tyler march to the end where everyone is just jockeying to be in his Boston Rob and Paul slot. That is what prevents this from being the all-time great Big Brother season. A JC or Brett or someone coming out of the darkness and out of the shadows to just do a couple of big ruthless moves here at the end might literally leave this as the best Big Brother season of all time.
Yeah, and this isn't like an anti-Tyler take, because I think that the worst case scenario would be where Tyler gets down to the end and like Casey or Angela ends up winning because the jury was bitter. I mean, that's not that,
or he gets Vanessa'd at the final three, something along those lines. And you know what? It's 100% not anti-Tyler. Tyler would be a deserving winner of the season. It's just that's the most boring or sort of just like obviously laid out outcome at this point. So anything that sort of like shakes up that status quo,
to have this great ride and then at the have the rug pulled out and then have there be a real surprise move at the end would be exciting.
Yeah, normally the bowlers can just coast their way straight to the perfect game, but he has some. He's gonna have to put the bumpers up. He has some roadblocks. He has some possible gutter balls in his future.
Okay, Eric. Then on that note, this is from Jennifer Anderson. If Tyler is as comfortable, if Tyler is comfortable enough to out himself as a lifeguard with heightened observation communication skills, what mad bowling skills is he hiding?
This is probably a guy who's able to down 3 or 4 brewskis before any given game, possibly, right? He probably is able to, like, he could play in the veto even if his hands were contaminated with like mozzarella sticks or chicken fingers, as one would do at the bowling.
You think he would have done well in the grease on that HOH competition?
Yeah, I think one of the unfair advantages he's probably getting is that people don't always know this, but Big Brother provides footwear for you for some of these competitions. You get a pair of sneakers, maybe some like water shoes inside of the house. And so if Tyler is accustomed to thriving in someone else's shoes, then that could be a definite added bonus for him, in this game. So I don't know. He's I'll spare you the other details, but he has been known to strike at any given time. So I do think he is probably implementing his bowling skills, and that's what's taken him this far.
Eric, a lot of people wanted us to comment on, there was an odd clip of Angela in the episode last night where they were, Scotty and Haley were talking about other people in the house. And then there was a shot of Angela and she said this.
I love culture.
What did you take that to mean when Angela says, I love culture?
I really couldn't begin to guess. I would say maybe some of the like cultures or bacteria found in like a nice yogurt, perhaps, or something along those lines. Doesn't
culture.
Really strike me as somebody who would be taking in the museum sights and sounds. Also, I'm not really sure what context that was said in.
We neither. It was just a random clip of her. And
could it be pop culture, perhaps? Could she be
know.
excited to come out and watch Uncle Fessy on his?
Have mercy. Yeah. Some people wondered if it was a shout out to Taryn's love of yogurt.
It's a distinct possibility.
Yes. Okay. Eric, let's see. I got some more stuff for you from the listeners. This is one. The American Ketchup Society would like to notify you that Mr. Stein's nefarious use of our product on your show last Monday night was truly disgusting.
Disgusting.
Mr. Stein seems to not realize we are in an all-out fight with the almighty pickle to retain our title as America's favorite condiment. We want the world to know that ketchup is sweet, smooth, and velvety on the tongue, while Mr. Stein's contorted face with our product in his mouth was nothing short of despicable, and his spitting it into the cup was something right out of hell. What does Mr. Stein have to say for himself? He better make it good. Sincerely yours, Balky Bartakamos, CEO, American Ketchup Society. I don't know what Balky is doing with ketchup, but
it's funny because this was not the only notification I got about this week. I also got a notification from my doctor that I now have type 2 diabetes. No. Apparently, you should not have so much sugar.
Maybe that's what's bothering you.
Yeah, that amongst several other things. Also, since I am now also a health practitioner and was able to impart upon the listeners some valuable hygiene tips last week, I would like to make a shocking announcement that for the first time in nearly a decade, I joined a gym this week.
Wow.
So if the listeners will look outside right now, pigs are flying.
Yes. What was
it's
the
Amazon
occasion?
Delivery outside of your windows.
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, and I have learned some also valuable takeaways, and this was probably as a direct result of my consuming that much ketchup. My heart almost gave out later that afternoon. I was actually getting mysterious back pains and so forth, and I knew I needed to take matters into my own hands. So I've joined the gym, and I've quickly learned some pointers at the gymnasium.
Yes.
One is, you know how they like you to wipe down the machines after you go so it's not sweaty for the next person? Well, I have implemented a different strategy.
You do it from back to front?
Yes, you would think. But actually, what I've implemented is not sweating enough to have to wipe down the machine. Then I don't need to go get the towels, which would require greater effort. So my gym regimen is working out so lightly that I don't even break a sweat.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever broken a sweat, ever.
Then I wasn't aware that I'm supposed to wear the flip-flops into the sauna, so I will be soon fighting off athlete's foot as well.
Okay.
Or in this case, not so athlete's foot, as it were.
Yes.
I've learned that dogs are not welcomed at the gym.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, baby Dino got turned away. That was unfortunate. And I've also learned that when getting my free consultation with my personal trainer, that the mass consumption of ketchup is not part of a heart-healthy diet.
This really came up?
It did. They were like, what brings you here today? And I said, I've been having some questionable eating habits. And I'm gonna need to work this off.
He knew about the apricot in the barbecue sauce?
Yes. And he also that's exactly right. And he also spoke to the fact that although I've gotten some comments claiming that I look surprisingly buff this summer, he knew that buff was in fact code for fat.
What you need are those like giant weights that like Brett had to make it look like you're lifting really heavy weights.
Yes, that's probably where I all went wrong on everything.
Okay. Eric, I have some more questions for you from the listeners. I have this is a very special voicemail. This is actually, of course, we don't play them all. This is voicemail number 5,000 for Rob as a podcast. 5,000 times people have called in and left a message in the storied history of Rob as a podcast, and very fitting that Victoria is our 5,000th voicemail message leaver.
Hey, Rob has a podcast. Hey, Eric Stein. Hey, it's Victoria. And I have a question for Eric. Which one of the Big Brother 20 house guests would you like to leave a mean goodbye message for? And what would it be? So, yeah, and about me being crazy like Sam, I mean, unless you're talking about the fact that I will stomp a mud hole through the chest of anyone that doesn't agree with me that you are their favorite Big Brother player. But I mean, other than that, not at all. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful day and a beautiful podcast. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Number 5,000.
I have a few points to make about this. Number one is I left a voicemail for the great Johnny Mac on Thursday that didn't get played on the show.
Okay.
I'm a little upset
Well,
about this.
I don't normally play voicemails for the guests.
Well, I don't normally have such great men that are appearing
Yes,
on
okay.
Thursday.
Well, then I could play this for you because
Where was this? Like 4,996?
Yeah. Okay. This is a voicemail that we got for Mr. Johnny Mac.
Johnny Mac, my man, what is good? You are one of my most loyal supporters since day one, bro, and don't think I don't know this. I remember all of my ride or dies from the beginning. I see who flip-flops. I see who comes back around when the times are good. I see who leaves when the times are bad. And you are a real one.
Real one.
Baby and also my dude, Unlimited Rockstar DMD, the boss. This is your boy, Paulie C. from the PP Alliance. Have a good one. I don't have a question. Thank you.
From the PP Alliance, yes.
Seems very familiar. Very familiar. It's nice that the Big Brother past contestants have their ride or dies, best interest at heart.
Yes.
Here. I'm glad. So, yes, of course, I'd like to leave a mean goodbye message. I actually left some scathing goodbye messages that did not get shown.
Mhm.
I know this has been a big point of contention this week on Rob Has a Podcast. And I will tell you, on my season, that positively did not happen. They did not show all goodbye messages. You did not get them in the jury house. And they did handpick what aspect of your goodbye message that they showed. And it was not like I went in and was like, hey, if this happens, play this. If this happens, play that. It was nothing like that. They dictated what aspect of it they wanted to show and who they wanted to show it from. So it was a form of influence indirectly from the producers, albeit this was quite some time ago. So it's a distinct possibility that this has since changed.
Okay, so Eric, you want to send a mean goodbye message to somebody from Big Brother 20?
I do.
Okay. All right. Who will you be sending a mean book cameo to?
Oh, man. I feel like I want to send it to Scotty, but I feel like it hurts. And I feel like Scotty probably will watch this at some point when he's can't sleep for the next 6 to 8 months after this. So no, it's got to be for Scotty.
All right. Here we go. So now Eric and I will leave some goodbye messages. Scotty, your podcast co-hosts. I don't know if he's a co-host. Your podcast friends who play racquetball with you. We have left you some messages. Let's see what they have to say.
Scotty, I know that you spoke in the house about how Eurotrip ruined your life because people have been making that corny joke. But I'm sorry, Scotty. You don't know what happened to you this week, you fool. Scotty doesn't know. You don't know anything, you stupid buffoon. Scotty doesn't know. He doesn't know. You don't know. And you still won't know. You don't know who voted for you. You don't know how this happened. You don't know how your own alliance betrayed you. Well, guess what, Scotty? You don't know.
Scotty, you were a great guy to have around in the house. I was so excited to see you on the season, but what happened to you, man? I took you in the draft and you blew it. You were my second round pick. Have fun working at the movies the rest of your life.
Let's keep the music going. Fessy, I'd like to say it was a treat living in the house with you this summer, but you are dumber than a pile of rocks. I did not enjoy our time together, and may God have mercy on your soul, Uncle Fessy. What you have done this week is beyond a shadow of a doubt the single most idiotic thing I have ever seen in my entire life. I award you no points, and may Uncle Jesse and Uncle Fessy, I'm going back, rewinding my own message, have mercy on you.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, Scotty, this is not goodbye. We'll see you on finale night. All right.
What a mess. Another messy Fessy.
Eric, what else? This is, you've answered some of this. This is from Patrick, who says, Hope you guys are both recovering from the hit of Genius Fessy HOH and are well and safe. How badly does Eric want Fessy as his ride or die when they both obviously returned for Big Brother 21 Legends versus Who That's?
I guess I'm the who that in that case, right? Not to be confused with Fessy Legend. It's sort of like the G.Otis. He's the L.Egend.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Customarily, I would actually think of Fessy is a great ally, right? Like my dream all-star alliance member is none other than Mr. Pectacular because he is loyal. He is he's been with me since day one. He is a ride or die. He's not a flip-flopper at all. He proved that on both of his seasons. And he's an attack dog.
Yeah.
You want someone who can go out, win competitions for you, have that fight for you down in the kitchen while you're laughing in the background on the couch. And I thought for a while Fessy might be that type of guy. But now that he's sending his own allies home, I'm
not good.
going to politely decline my Fessy All-Star Alliance.
Okay. Then also, will you...
I'm also... sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to rescind my comment, and albeit I was saying it at the time, this season has now yielded some absolute possible All-Stars moving forward. And there are people I would genuinely like to see this play,
Who?
play again.
Give us names.
Well, Tyler is going to be a production fave, but I don't know. It depends what happens with Tyler. Tyler might be more on the Derek Yul Kwan trajectory, possibly.
No, I think I think that he has a following. Like he's not necessarily nonstop.
He's not a clean game though.
Yes.
He's not dynamic.
He's not drama.
Right. I think for me, the number one going away with a bullet is JC at this point. He's the person I would love to see play any season of Big Brother. And, we have the very rare pre-jurors in both Swaggy C and Caitlyn, who I think are very well positioned for more time in the house. And, I think Brett is shaping up as a potential all-star as well. I mean, Brett is probably not the Dr. Will role, Taryn, but maybe the Jace role on All Stars 2. So.
Yeah, it could be fun. All right, and then Eric, also Patrick wanted to know, will you join Rob for the recap of Sam's new hit game show, Curb Stop Crunch?
Crunch indeed, the sound of your teeth going into the back of your throat. I tried to curb stomp myself while watching last night's episode. Which I will ironically say I almost pulled off because much like Rockstar, back in my youth when I was more flexible, I was known for a toenail biting here back in the day. That's not actually true, but I wish it was. But I came up with a genius idea for us, all right?
Yes.
I know that one of your hit shows of the summer is normally the recap of the recap.
Yeah.
Summer I filled in because Matt Hoffman screwed me and he was away that week. So I was forced to watch the recap and fill in for him. But assuming that Matt recaps the recap this summer, what if that week's Summer of Stein was the recap of the recap of the recap? And all we did is rewatch the recap of the recap and recap that.
Boy, that's very meta. I don't know how many people would really be into that.
I don't think that many people are into really anything.
I could see it being a segment. I think it might be tough to do. I've never done a podcast on one of my own podcasts.
Well, there's a first time for everything. So.
Let's see how.
Right,
in fairness, that the last week of Big Brother is pretty boring. So we'll see.
All right. Just fingers crossed on that one.
All right. Let's take a couple more questions and then we'll wrap this up. Should have wrapped up about an hour ago at the...
a little late for that.
Yeah.
Back
I think around Vitamin Steve, I think we had the right,
exactly
right call.
Once I was trying to ingest Winston's juices, that stopped.
Josh Spence says, hot take, Sam is the best character of BB20 due to her psychodrama and unpredictability. I believe that she will age well in the hearts and minds of fans after the season is over. Do you agree or disagree with this take, Eric?
Absolutely agree. That's another one, albeit I did not remember her when I was just going through my own
I forget she's there too, because she's not on one of the sides. Yeah.
Yeah, Sam is an all-star. Sam, she is great. Sam is great. The best castings are the people that bring a never-before-seen dynamic to the show. Very few people have threatened physical violence, purported to have relationships they didn't really have, craft in the way that she did, try and get people to get up their own number one allies, and a non-game game player who may be playing the game, kind of not playing the game. Is she sweet? Is she violent? She's a one of a kind. She's great. And, as they always tell you in casting, we don't want the next evil dick. If we wanted evil dick on the show, we'd call evil dick. We want the first you. Sam is the first Sam to appear on Big Brother, which is great. I love seeing original characters. To me, Sam is a present time already home run. The fans, like the our type of fans, they get a little too inside shop on the strategy of it all. So they lash out against people who are not the world's best strategists, who are not taking the game seriously. And that's a quick way to lose the fact that players like a Sam or like a Kevin, they bring a great dynamic into the house. They fill out the actual show, and they keep the strategists on their toes because they're seeing things they've never seen before. Love Sam, love what she brings to the show, would love to see her play again. I don't think she would dare ever step foot back on this studio lot ever again in her life. I think she's going into full retirement after this, but I think she's been
what a ride.
A gem.
What a ride.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to another tweet that we got. This is from Becca. The leapfrog. Did they listen to Summer of Stein? Eric, did you catch this in the voting confessionals this week?
I think we have good reason to believe that we're streaming live on eviction days. What do you think about this?
Yes, perhaps.
I mean, if I'm trying to get into the headspace of the producers and I'm thinking, how do I want to steer my players towards a great live show? Probably expert analysis from Eric Stein is exactly where I'm going. So yeah, there's too many coincidences from the Saved by the Bell narratives into the leapfrogs. It's clear somebody is listening to the Summer of Stein in production.
Can you call the next hallway choreography move that will come?
It's probably, I don't know, Haley weeping as Scotty goes home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a rough one.
Okay. All right. Will an upset Haley, Eric, have a good adjective for Julie Chen this week?
Julie, I am despondent this week. You look fine.
Okay. I've got one other voicemail for you. This is from a good friend of the show. Torrance from Canada has a voicemail.
Rob, Eric Stein. Hey, guys. It's Torrance from Canada. Eric Stein gave me a shout-out on the last Summer Aside podcast, and I just wanted to say, thanks, buddy. Not a lot of people know about the Canadian coverage of U.S. Big Brother. We do our best to analyze everything and present it in an insightful and intelligent manner. I do podcasts every week with my best friend, Peter. Say hi, Peter. Hey, buddy. Both of us provide the top coverage of reality TV for the entire country. So if you're looking for my live feed correspondence, I'd love to contribute for the next season of Big Brother Canada with Brent, Melissa, and that other guy. I can't think of his name right now, but I'd love to be a part of it. Honestly, I want this season to be over soon so I don't have to keep watching these fucking idiots on Falte. But once BB Can starts, I'm your guy, buddy. Just wanted to end by saying you two are doing a great job on the Summer of Stein, and I appreciate you taking my call. Thanks, guys.
We're so on top of everything that happened 20 years ago.
What if we did
Locked in.
a segment of Torrance and Philip with Philip Shepard? Possibly.
You might be into
nice.
it. I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Shut your effing face, Uncle
Fessy.
Exactly. It's all coming full circle. Or Fuller House.
Yeah. All right, Eric. Will you be composing your tweet to Swaggy C to get retweeted?
I will. I will dutifully do my homework assignment. By the time that they are hearing me say this, people can, my very diligent and numerous followers can find me on Twitter and find out what it is that I've tweeted.
Because I think you've got about 4 hours to get the retweet and then 5 hours until we're both blocked.
Yeah, are we going to roll with the assumption that he does not know that I've been maligning him for the last
I think it's hard to, sort the wheat from the chaff on some of the,
All right, I'm going to go with it as if we've had no previous interaction.
Yeah.
And just shoot for the stars.
Shoot for the stars.
I'm going to try and bowl my 300 game later this afternoon.
Shoot for the stars. Sometimes you hit the moon.
That's exactly right.
That's right. All right. Of course.
That sounds like a Casey Kasemism.
Sometimes you shoot for the stars and maybe you hit the moon. And sometimes you get blocked by Swaggy C.
I can only hope.
Is he coming to the big party on Thursday?
I did hear rumors of yet to be announced surprises.
TBD. Maybe it's Jordan Parhar.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly who came to mind. Actually, it's probably a legitimate possibility that Matt and Matt will be there.
Yeah,
if they're
could
back
be the
in
Mats.
time.
Could be the Mats.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Eric, of course, the LFC Roundtable is back on Tuesday. We've got a great show coming up on Wednesday. The Zingbot will be in the backyard. We'll have a lot to talk about that. And then, of course, it'll be a sad day on Thursday where it's looking like Scotty might know it's going to be a rough night on Thursday. He may know by now.
Now that Julie has been humanized and she is taking on such sassy takes on the house guest.
Yes.
And I'm going to assume Julie has probably not seen Eurotrip. Is it possible that the card writer will slip in a Scotty? Like, what percentage odds do you see there being in the VO or the exit interview a Scotty doesn't know reference?
Right. So Julie is talking about, and then, but the being on the block, we'll see exactly what Scotty doesn't know.
Yeah, like Scotty doesn't know where his votes lie, so he went to work.
Yeah, right. Because they do put stuff like that in there where, it's, whether it's wordplay and so we'll see. I
will retweet that word for 2,500 more likes.
24% chance.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6% chance, but I'm optimistic.
I'm a little more bullish than you. Okay, hopefully you don't get just jump up in excitement when it happens and knock Glenn's salad all over Paulie Calafiore.
That did happen the last time. I'm gonna steer clear of him. I don't want any ranch on my lap.
Can I write a fan fiction of this night?
Yes, that could be on the next B&B, possibly, as performed by Mike Bloom.
Yeah.
We can read the
interior Steve's family room night. Paulie walks in. Eric, my man, what is
good? I will tell you, Glenn's salad is looking good. Glenn says, Paulie, you're a legend. Then he talks with his hand, sweeps the dressing right onto my lap.
I'm telling you, all stars, me, you, Steve, Jose, Paul, we got this thing on lock.
Right, but once I'm slathered in the dressing, then Steve offers me up his bathtub to cleanse myself of Glenn's dressing, so to speak, and Winston's
Summer
ointment.
Steve 2018.
Whatever it was. The sad part is this sounds pretty realistic. The whole thing. Not sure where Adam fits into it all just yet, but I'll be sure to let you know next week.
Hey, yo, Rob and Eric. This is Paulie Calafiore coming to you live from the challenge.
All right.
What if he reveals some secrets to me from the Redemption House when I see him? Like, Eric, Dino the dog's been two-timing you, bro.
My man, let me tell you what was good in the Redemption House. All right. Let's wrap this up. Of course, thank you so much to the Rob as a Podcast patrons. Maybe the only people who appreciate this nonsense.
Maybe,
if possible.
Try definitely.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for your ongoing support of Rob Has a Podcast. To find out more about the benefits of becoming a Rob Has a Podcast patron, go to robhasawebsite.com/patron. All right. Eric, are you ready to set up what is good for next week's episode of the show?
I have some harsh words for you. So yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's take it away. Eric comes in here like some big shot trying to one-up me when he's going to his big brother party. Little does he know, I'm watching the episode with the cast of Kill Reality next week.
Listen, you plaid prince of podcasting Patreon. I know you've been living this entitled life in your podcasting booth, but I have another thing coming for you. You're nothing but a dummy, a big podcasting dummy, and I'm pulling the microphone strings on you, or I guess whatever this apparatus is.
Find out next time on Summer of Stein.